On this last morning of Passover, tradition brings us together to remember those we've lost. We gather in this way 4 times a year on all the great festivals. But Pesach speaks especially to those whom death has touched. The rituals of the Seder are for mourners a daily practice. We taste bitterness. We taste the salt of tears. We know the flat, dry bread of affliction, the feeling that life itself has lost its flavor. We know hunger and deprivation. We know the plagues in a personal and intimate way. Some of you have been mourning for a long, long time, watching for years as a person who was precious to you slowly moved farther and farther away, growing weaker in body and mind. Some were surprised by death, which came like a sudden stab of pain into the middle of your life, leaving you bereft. Everyone who mourns has his or her own Egypt, a place that is narrow and dark, a place where you are sometimes lonely and sometimes afraid. For those who live in Egypt, the festival of Pesach comes with a promise. Our sojourn here will not be forever. The Israelites depart from Mitzrayim, that place of narrowness, darkness, and death. They set out for a new place where they will stand up as free people. After hundreds of years of enslavement, the end of their time in Egypt comes suddenly. They must flee by night, for their captors will soon be in pursuit. They must race to pack up all that they can carry. Amid the noise and chaos of the Israelites' departure that night, the Torah includes one telling detail. Moses takes time to gather the bones of Joseph, his distant ancestor, to take them with the people as they leave. They cannot go without Joseph. On his deathbed, Joseph made his children promise that when they left Egypt, they would bring up his bones for burial in the land of their ancestors. He is a part of them. Joseph is their history. He is their connection to the past. They cannot go without him. They are who they are. They are Israel, grown into a people on this foreign soil because of all that Joseph did. And so they carry with them Atzmot Yosef, the bones of Joseph, for all the 40 years of their journey in the wilderness. Our sages say in a midrash in Genesis Rabbah that it was not Atzmot Yosef, not literally the bones of Joseph, that the people carried out of bondage, but Atzmut Yosef, the essence of Joseph, that they brought with them in memory. Memories that are too heavy, too dense with pain and anguish, resentment, or guilt can crush us, body and spirit. Bent down under their weight, we cannot see the path in front of us. We cannot get our legs to move. We stand frozen, bearing the burden of the past on our backs. But it doesn't have to be that way. Some memories are light and easy to bear. We can pick them up, we can hold them close and be with them, and they do not hurt. They may come with tears, but they are good tears, healing, cleansing tears whose flow dissolves the knot of grief inside us. Such memories nourish us, they soothe and comfort us, they inspire us to go on and to be our best. The Passover story reminds us that the task of the mourner is to pick up the bones of Joseph, to carry memory with us lightly as a blessing, not a burden, and to go forth out of Egypt, out of the place of sorrow and death, and to find our way back to the land of the living. I wish we could be together to hold each other's hands, to remember and to shed tears together this morning. As Grace Noel Crow writes in her poem, To One in Sorrow, Let me come in where you are weeping, friend, and let me take your hand. Let me come in. I would be very still beside you in your grief. We are connected virtually, but for those who lost a loved one in these last weeks, grief has become even more private. In this strange time, I want to offer in closing a poem from Rabbi Yael Hammerman, the sister of our dear friend Leah Hammerman, whom I'm missing today, who passed away this past winter. Her sister Yael wrote a poem for this unusual Yizkor. Like a balm for our souls, a blanket for our blight, but right now has never, ever been before. So I penned a new poem as I sat behind my closed door. I imagined how it might be to open that door for Eliyahu Hanavi, and behind the prophet in an unending line would be all our loved ones waiting, divine. Mommies with Band-Aids and a big pot of soup, daddies with warm shoulders beneath the basketball hoop, sisters laughing and smiling with jump rope in hand, brothers wrestling and jamming along to the band. The floodgates of memory, undammed by that door, those stuck in one spot, were transported to times of yore. Time doesn't flow in only one way. It curls and unfurls with each passing day. Their spirits are with us, though we may be alone. We feel their soup, shoulders, and jump ropes deep in our bones. Though we scour ourselves of unwanted chametz, cleansing our hearts of each unwelcome trace, we remained leavened as our memories rise of those to whom we have said our forever goodbyes. Yizkor, memories behind an open door.